This Day in Sports History. This episode is brought to you by Sterling Soap Company. Fellas, you've heard the phrase, look good, feel good, right? But why not add smell good to that too? That's where Sterling Soap Company comes in. First, Sterling Soap is 100% natural and has a wide variety of bath soaps, shave soaps, beard balm, lotions, and cologne. Second, there's a scent just for you. How about burgundy? Yeah, it's more than a color. The Sterling Soap folks blend natural essential oils with hints of mahogany, golden amber, and sandalwood. Or how about D503, an intensely masculine scent inspired by Legend by Mont Blanc. And third, you will feel good about the price. For just a little more than you'd pay at the grocery store, Sterling Soap will leave you feeling clean, refreshed, and ready for whatever's next. Give Sterling Soap a try today. Visit sterlingsoap.com. It's February 25th, and on this day in 1961, St. Bonaventure was finally beaten at home. A banner hung above the entry to the old Olean Armory on this night, welcoming people with the phrase 100 wins on the Armory slate, NCAA, and Ohio State. It was a bit premature to start celebrating 100 consecutive home wins for the Bonnies. They had won 99 consecutive on their home floor, with the last team to beat them at Butler Memorial Gym inside the Armory being Niagara 13 years before. Well, on this night, the Bonnies welcomed back their old nemesis, the other Catholic school in the area, the Purple Eagles of Niagara. The Eagles were decent, coming in with a 14-4 record, but St. Bonaventure was ranked number 2 in the country at this point, scoring around 90 points a game, and their only loss coming on the road at top-ranked Ohio State. Plus, the Bonnies had already beaten the Purple Eagles a few weeks before by 20, and it was senior night. So you can understand why the Franciscan Friars were a bit confident that they were going to put another win in the books to make it to 100, a nice round number. Niagara was up 5 at the half, but the Bonnies made a push in the second and tied the game at 61, but Niagara's Al Butler hit 3 consecutive shots, and they never looked back. And just like they'd done 13 years before, Niagara walked off the floor with the win. St. Bonaventure's 99-game home winning streak was snapped, and it is still the second longest in NCAA history, with Kentucky still holding the record at 129 games, set between 1943 and 1955. On this day in 1998, boxer Riddick Bowe kidnapped his family. Bowe, a man who'd won a silver medal at the 1988 Olympics, had captured the undisputed heavyweight title back in 1992 with a unanimous decision over Evander Holyfield, only to lose it the following year in the rematch in Las Vegas in the infamous Fan Man fight. And then there were the Galata fights, twice in 1996, first in July and again in December. Bowe stepped into the ring with Andrew Galata. In the first one, Galata delivered several below-the-belt shots, and he was warned. He drilled Bowe again with a low blow and was disqualified. In the follow-up, Galata was leading in the fight before he once again went south of the border with a jab to the junk, and he was DQ'd again. But it wasn't the low blows in those fights that were the most cause of concern. It was the shots to Bowe's head. Bowe supposedly suffered from brain damage during those fights. And I say supposedly because there were no official tests done, but signs pointed to it soon after, with slurred speech, slower to process thoughts, actions, and memory. He was easily agitated, and that all figures into what happened on this day when Bowe drove from his Fort Washington, Maryland home to Cornelius, North Carolina, where his estranged wife and kids lived. He threatened her with pepper spray, stabbed her with a knife, and forced them all into his car, thinking that this would be the best way to mend his relationship with his wife and family. Driving back to Maryland, they stopped to eat at a restaurant in South Hill, Virginia, where Bowe's wife called his sister, who alerted local police. Bowe was arrested and jailed. During his trial, Bowe used his brain damage that he had incurred during the Galata fights as evidence that he was not thinking clearly, with his lawyers saying it was a misguided attempt to reunite with his family. One of the evaluations of his cognitive ability said he had a borderline range of intellectual functioning, and his ability to process information is grossly impaired. Bowe agreed to a plea bargain that would have imprisoned him for at least 18 months. But the Cornelius judge hearing the case struck that down, saying due to his brain damage, he was only going to serve 30 days. That judgment was later overturned, and Bowe eventually spent 17 months in jail for kidnapping his wife and family on this day in 1998. Hey, I needed to call a quick timeout to let you know that we're giving away a $50 gift card to Homefield Apparel. Have a favorite college sports team? Of course you do. You're listening to a sports podcast. Well, Homefield Apparel has all the great gear so you can support your team in style. Jerseys, hoodies, hats, and a whole lot more are available in your team's colors and insignias. So go to sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways for your chance at a $50 gift card to Homefield Apparel. I've also put a link in the show notes. Now, let's get back out there. We've got more of this episode to do. On this day in 1964, Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston for the first time with a little rumbling afterward, suggesting the fight may have been fixed. Sonny Liston was the heavyweight champ coming into this one after a first-round knockout of Floyd Patterson back in September 1962, and then in the rematch, Liston put Patterson on the mat for good again in another first-round knockout in July of 1963. So in the past 18 months, Liston had fought about 4 minutes in an actual ring. There were also reports out of his camp that he was not training very hard for Ali, running about a mile a day instead of his normal 5, and he supposedly ate a lot of hot dogs and drank a lot of beer in the lead-up. And there was a question of just how old he really was. He said he was 32, but most thought he was at least 34, if not a little bit older. Ali came into the fight confident, even though nobody thought he had a chance. Vegas had Ali, who was still going by Cassius Clay at this point, as a huge underdog. Ali predicted a knockout in the 8th round in his pre-fight poem, and he baited the bear, as he called it, in the weeks ahead of the fight. Now here on fight night, when the bell rang to start it, Liston came out of his corner like a bull ready to end the fight quickly, but Ali used his footwork to escape the onslaught. Towards the end of the first round, Ali was able to put together a bit of a flourish that stung Liston a little bit, and Ali got a little extra time. Referee Barney Felix did not hear the bell to end the round, and it lasted an extra 9 seconds. Move ahead to the break between the 4th and the 5th rounds. As Ali moved towards his corner, his eyes were burning and he couldn't see. Ali's trainer, Angelo Dundee, sponged water into his eyes, but said that he put a finger to Ali's eye and then to his, and it burned. And there was something caustic in his eyes, presumably from a foreign substance that had been applied to Liston's gloves. Ali was not ready to go out for the 5th, and the fight came close to being stopped and Liston given the win.
Getting ready for number 5.
Something wrong with Clay now. Something wrong with Clay Hart. Something wrong with Clay.
I see that, Joe. His eyes are bothering him. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't know exactly what happened. They're yelling from Cassius Clay's corner. Something got in his right eye. However, he's blinking badly.
Ali, still not able to see very well, was told by Dundee to run. As he danced around the ring as best as he could, Ali said he could only see a shadow of Liston in that 5th round. By round 6, Ali's vision had cleared up and he got his confidence back, landing a series of punches. After the round, he turned to ringside reporters and told them to get ready for him to shake up the world. When the bell rang for the 7th, Liston did not answer it.
They might be stopping it. That might be all, ladies and gentlemen. Get up there, Joe. Get up there. Get up in the ring.
Whether he told his corner that he was done or they made the decision for him, the official word was that his shoulder was injured and he could not continue. Liston spit out his mouthpiece. The fight was over. Ali had won. It was the first time in 45 years that a champion had retired during a title bout. Of course, in the immediate aftermath of the fight, Ali had a lot to say.
I'm the greatest thing that ever lived. I don't have a mark on my face, and I upset Sonny Liston, and I just turned 22 years old. I must be the greatest. I told the world, I am the king of the world.
Hold it.
I'm pretty.
Hold it. You're not that pretty.
I'm a bad man.
Wait.
I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world.
Almost as soon as that fight ended, suspicion of a fix began. It was long known that Liston had connections with the Lucchese crime family, and could he have been paid off or threatened to lose the fight? But Liston's shoulder injury was deemed legit. A team of doctors examined Liston at St. Francis Hospital after the fight, and they all agreed that Liston had a torn tendon that bled into his bicep muscle and was too damaged to continue. Still, the Florida State Attorney General opened an investigation, ruling a month later that there was not any evidence of a fix. The FBI also investigated the possibility of the fight being fixed, but never released any information about their findings. Those two would meet again in May 1965, with even more controversy following that one. On this day in 1987, the NCAA handed down sanctions against the Southern Methodist football program, wiping out the Mustangs' entire 1987 schedule, taking away their 1988 home games, along with limiting the number of scholarships they could offer moving forward. It was called the death penalty, and it would take a long time for the program to recover. Time now for today's That's Got Nothing to Do with Sports fun fact. Actor Bill Murray has been called tough to work with in different movie projects. While filming Groundhog Day, Murray was going through a divorce, and he was especially difficult to work with. He constantly ignored calls and other sorts of communication, so director Harold Ramis suggested he get an assistant to handle the communication between staff and the actor. Murray agreed, but he hired a deaf assistant who only spoke through sign language, which Murray did not understand, nor anybody on set could use. This has been an original Thrive Suite production.